The bonus world is so close, I can almost smell it. Welcome back to Artisan of Glimmith. I have some great puzzles for you today. Let's get into them. Check out area number over here. Got a tiny 6 and a big 6. So let's start with the tiny. Oh my God, that's so much 6. And rose windows, which there appear to be 4 different shapes. Real quick, there's 64, which divided by 6 is not an even number. That's 10 times 6, then plus 4. I want to count how many of each symbol there are, right? Like I count 10 6s, right? So that's the 60. And then if there are 11 of each shape, I think we know what must be done. I count 13 squares. Ah, that gets a little interesting then. So we can do a little bit of math, right? Figure out how many size 4 shapes there are, how many size 6 shapes there are, which is a simple equation. 4x plus 6y equals 64. Along with x plus y equals 13, because 13 squares means 13 shapes. So when you're given 2 equations like this, really easy way to simplify it is take the x plus y equals 13 and turn that into x equals 13 minus y. Now that we know that x is 13 minus y, we can actually replace x with 13 minus y in the first equation. So we'd have 4 times 13 minus y in parentheses plus 6y equals 64, which then simplifies into 52 minus 4y plus 6y equals 64, which further simplifies into 2y equals 12 and y equals 6, which must mean x equals 7. So there are 7 regions of size 4 and 6 regions of size 6. Now, because there's 6 regions of size 6, we can actually work with that a little bit. There are 10 6s, which means that 4 of the regions must have 2 6s, and the last 2 regions must have exactly 1 6. Right? Because you can't have 3 6s in a region, because you still need 1 of every of the 4 shapes, right? You add 1 6, 2 6, but not 3 6. So which of the 6s are gonna be solo? Wait, how would that be possible? Also, fun fact, there are not 10 6s. I can't count, there's 12 of them. Okay, no, that means every region has 2 6s. That makes it much simpler. All this math and the counting is the hard part. So I guess I would want to figure out then which 6s connect, you know, and whether or not there's like viable moves afterwards. Like for example, could this 6 make it all the way out to this 6? Well, say we start going on the path, we might hit something like this. That looks pretty good. This looks wrong, leaves behind an island of 1, and I don't see how we're getting any other circle. We could do this. However, that also leaves behind a bad 4 size shape. But I think if I'm to continue from here, we're gonna run into an issue. We need a size 6 shape, but we can't reach a second 6. So I think that is enough to say that these 2 6s do not meet. All right, what about going to the right? Right, we got a little size 6 chunk here. Well, no, we're gonna have 2 triangles. Well, we can't leave out the other triangle because that'll leave behind an island of 1. Any other way of drawing it? Now, leave behind an island of 1, and the 6 itself serves as a barrier for this to go around. So I don't think it's going to the right side 6 either. So then it's just gonna be one of these 2 6s remaining. Let's try the one that's further away first, because that has less leeway. Could be something like this. But that's actually gonna cause another problem with these 3 triangles and the 6 here. You know, once again, this 6 is gonna have to go and scoop up the triangle, but then we're gonna leave behind an island of 1 or have duplicates. Well, but there's still other configurations, right? Say, screw this circle, we're going this circle instead. Then we can have a slightly happier 6, ignoring the fact that it doesn't reach any other 6s. But we're still gonna have 2 triangles, right? Just the 3 triangles, it's too much to account for. So what if we get 1 here? Well, then we still have 3 triangles in a small proximity, but maybe it's easier to do something about it here? No, I don't think so, actually. The only way it would somehow make sense is if the 6 would stay in the corner, but there's just not enough space, nor a blue shape, nor a green shape, nor a second 6. So that doesn't really work either. All right, now we're really running out of options. Surely it's not this, because then we have 4 triangles in a tiny space? Yeah, no, make it make sense. It doesn't go to the far down 6. So the only one left is this 6. Great, how do they merge? There's 3 shortest paths it could take, all size 4, which means that the other 2 just need to grab the 2 missing shapes. which actually leave a lot of possibilities. I think if I'm going to focus on any of them, I'm actually going to focus around this square, because this square does not have any circles in range. So it's not going to be size 4. It's going to be part of a size 6. But if it were to be a size 6 and not the shape that I'm originally drawing, it would have to be this 6, which is an issue, okay? I'm going to just draw a line to separate two parts of the size 6 shape. The size 6 needs to reach another 6, and that's going to take at least 4 spaces total. No matter how you slice it, 4 spaces, 5 if we go here, but 4 since smaller is easier to work with. That means that it only has 2 moves left to spare, and this square would be 3 moves out of the way, which means that it is simply not reaching the 6. Therefore, it's got to be part of our orange shape. So it's not going to connect to here, which means that the way to connect then is actually through this triangle. So this is the shortest path. Now we need a diamond and a circle, and it's not going to be this diamond because that does not immediately reach a circle. And I don't think it's going to be going for this circle because, again, we're going to have the 3 triangles problem. So that means it's going to be one of the other circles. So I'll tell you what, I could leave that alone and actually migrate over to here. I could try and solve the triangle problem. A surprisingly good solve for it would involve making a 4-piece here and then a 6-piece that escapes like this. Now, all of a sudden, we actually don't have any problems with all the triangles in the corner. I mean, that's significant. It's really hard to make that not stuck. So I think that is the move. Now we know this green shape. It is going to be a size 4. It's not going to reach 2 6s in time. So I'll mark that off. The blue shape does need to reach another 6. And the only one that's close enough is this one. And it's going to have to go through the square, but, don't know which circle yet. I could take a look at this diamond instead. Know that even if the circle is part of the shape, it has to extend down. And I guess it could be a size 4 or a size 4 like that. So I'll leave that alone. Oh, we actually are forced to go to this diamond now. That's nice. Still don't know which circle, but taking a look at everything, we do have 2 squares here. Now, one of these squares is going to have to merge with the 6. And it's not the upper left one, because that's going to leave behind just size 3. So you 2 are merging. And you are at least going to be part of the circle. This must come down to get the circle, which forces orange to get this circle. Now we could have a size 4 here. Perfectly valid. Or this could reach this size 6. Well, hold up. This square is 3 moves out of the way from the 6, which still needs to actually reach another 6. That is not happening. No way. So it has to be size 4. Okay, excellent. Can't have 2 squares, so we're going to get the 6, complete the size 6. Square must come out. And it is going to reach the 6, which is helpful, because now we know we have to reach another 6. One option is this. The other option goes to the other 6, but we're either going to have 2 squares or 2 triangles, so neither of those work. This is the only option. We have a size 4 here and a size 6, it would seem, which must reach another 6, which is going to be this 6. And we can't go through this square, so it's going to go up and around it like here. This triangle is going to be a size 4, size 4, size 6, and size 4. Actually, an awesome puzzle. This is my favorite one today. Let's see if this 6 ends up topping it. All right, where do I begin? I have absolutely no clue. What the hell? Maybe I could start marking like sizes of shapes or something? Like, I guess in the center, right? We're going to have a lot of size 3s and then a size 5 here, which is going to have to stay away from these size 5s. We have more size 5s. Can't be on both sides of the same line, so this must keep coming out. We have another size 5. Well, okay, that's something. It could do this or that, but it's a decent start. All right, we can take this 3, bring it down. Guess I have to be careful of the delta symbol and Gemini symbol. And also, like, which 3s connect, which don't? Wait, this does not have to be 3. Delta does mean different shapes, but it could still be the same size. Okay, well, actually, I could use the Gemini to my advantage, right? Because if it's a U, how is this going to be a U? It would look like this, but then we would have delta as well, and that's invalidated. So, no, it cannot go up that way. It's going to be a little snake. A big zag, if you will, which then comes over here, which then also makes this a big zag. And then what about you? Somehow you are going to be a big zag as well. Yeah, looking something like that. Then we got a big zag here. Hold on, did I already screw up? I don't think so. Because whatever shape's coming out of here, it's got to be different. But the puzzle so badly wants me to make this here. But that's wrong. I mean, unless we're saying this is wrong. Oh, yeah, I did miss the other potential shape. That makes more sense. There we go. Then these can fill in, do some 1s. Then we do have a size 5, but it's going to be different from a big zag. So that's nice. Let's go over maybe to a size 3 here. Size 5 is going somewhere. But then we have an elbow macaroni. So that means this is not coming down because it's forced to make an elbow macaroni then. So you can mark it, bring it out. And then this must be an elbow macaroni, just which way. This is also going to be an elbow macaroni. And actually, are all these going to become elbow macaronis? These two are merged together? Yeah, it appears that it is. It's just that I don't know which connects and which doesn't yet. Well, I do know this 3 can't go this way because we're not going to have a 3 in here that lets the 5 fit. I don't know, but I do know this 3 is not going to be able to cut off this 5 from leaving. I think the only actual option is not this either because it's going to create another 3 that cuts off the 5 from leaving. I was saying the only other option is going to be this, which then forces a little M piece. Yeah, because otherwise it cuts off the other 5. And then a second M piece here, which hopefully I can use to actually start doing something with the 3s. Make an elbow macaroni. Yeah, then elbow macaroni down here. Actually, I'm not so sure. This 4 must come up. And if there is a Gemini, it's going to be an S piece like this. And then this 6 pretty much always cuts off this 3. So we're going to have it come out then and do a 3 like here. I do think this 3 won't be able to go up to here because we have another elbow macaroni, which is just going to choke out either the 6 or the 3. So mark that. But now I don't know. It could merge with the 3 and then have something random here. Or it could be a 3 long. Nope, it has to be a elbow macaroni. Well, that means it doesn't go this way then. Because this 3 actually could be a 3 long like this. So it could look something like that. Right? Yeah, all these actually make sense. So I can't prove it. But keep it real, I don't think this 6 is merging here. Like, it would have to be a shape like... I don't even know. How could you possibly do 2 of that shape? In here? Yeah, no, that pretty much is always wrong. This? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Draw a line here, extend this, and then 3 can come around. And we have yet another elbow macaroni, which actually does do a lot, right? We got 2 in the corner, and then we can draw a line forcing a 1 here. So that actually is helpful. This is an elbow macaroni, so the 6 can be complete. That means this 3 does have to be a 3 long, since on the other side is an elbow macaroni. So there we go. The fruits of our labor. Elbow macaroni, 1, elbow macaroni. 4 must come out. I think it's going to have to be another zigzag. How else are you going to fit 2 4s in here? I can fit the 5 easily. Bring out the 4. Wait, no, I got to be careful about how I do the S with the other 4, right? Got to make sure there's actually room to do another 3 long here. 3 high, whatever. And another 3 long and 2 1s. Once we started going, it goed. And for our next section I have planned, wanted to do a little solitude. Because in here, we got a 6 and a 7. So I feel like that's a banger one to close it out on. So each region contains a single symbol, and all regions must have different shapes, which is kind of wild in conjunction. But I mean, we start off with some pretty easy palisade stuff. So I'm not particularly worried yet. But let's see where this ends up going. So we have at least the 2x2 here. Looks like there's going to be no size 1 shape because it would need the 4 border palisade. So 2 size, I mean, it could be here or it might not be. This must come out and this must come out, which forces the L here. Oh, this must come in for a square. I don't know if I can actually guarantee any of the rest of those pieces yet. Let me just move on to the next set of palisades, which at least can go out pretty far. Draw some borders here. That actually extends very far. Okay, give me a lot to work with here. And I see why this one's tricky, right? I feel like it might be a situation of understanding I might have to solve the whole thing at once. I don't know. I just can't see anywhere where I can guarantee a small shape and at least get that off the list. I guess in the upper right, bottom right, and lower left corners, there do exist 3 shapes that can at most be size 3. So between size 2 and size 3, there's total 3 shapes, right? An elbow macaroni, a 2-piece, and a 3-piece. So whatever this piece is, that can't be part of the 2 and 3 gang. So it's going to be a size 4, making it a size 2 there, and a size 3 here. This red can't be an elbow macaroni, so it's got to at least be an S. Same with the blue here. Can't be an elbow macaroni, so it is going to be an S, which means this red must expand. This purple, I guess, has to be an L piece. And then this green must expand. We do have a 3 in a row, which must be longer than an L piece. Maybe it's a big L. Same with the elbow macaroni, must expand here. Well, if it goes up, I'm going to have 2 of the same pieces. So it's going to be a little N piece and then have that be a big zag. This here must expand a bit. I do have a 4 in a row. So now, how do the pluses expand? Well, the left 2 ones can only expand by 1. So that's going to include the 2x2 and the P piece. So this must expand. And then it's got to expand once more to be different. Wait, but then we'd have 2 4 pieces. Uh-oh. What am I missing? Oh, technically this one can expand over here. That's what I'm missing. Okay. And actually, what we could do is have this expand twice. To have this expand once, and then that expand in 2 ways. All right, very cool puzzle, but I'm super excited to see a 7. What do we have here? All regions must have an area of exactly 5, and of course, 1 symbol each. I feel like the best place to start is the face palisade, because that already gets 4 out of 5. Yeah, but I don't know. Regions of exactly 5 are tripping me up too. And each of these are like little 5 pippers. I like the visual look of the design, but the break-in, I have absolutely no clue. Okay, actually with this face palisade, we know it can't go both left and up, because that's going to upset the hallway palisade. So therefore, it must go both of these ways, and then it's going to go exactly one of these ways. Okay, unfortunately, that's the only example of that interaction. Maybe I have to think about a corner piece like here. You know, it's obviously not going to go to this palisade, because it's going to invalidate the hallway palisade. And here it's too far out. So it's going to reach this, but then I guess we do either a T-piece like this or a T-piece like this, which, you know, I guess the T like this doesn't really have a problem because we could just fill in blanks here and then some more blanks here. So like, it's like we don't really have a problem yet until actually we start to look at here. This is a lot of steps ahead, but it does look like that's the natural consequence of that T-piece. I'm pretty sure the other T-piece won't have a consequence then. Comes up like this. This piece has to come out. It's going to reach this palisade, but then extend to 5 here. This has to be filled in, and then we can decide, all right, which P-piece is it going to be? Yeah, everything looks great, actually. Although I do want to mention, I don't know if this is going to lead to any problems or anything. This corner could go to this shape, right? Because then we can have something else down here. Like, for example, oops, no. Yeah, for example, this and that. So I don't know, do we really know the corner? Well, yeah, actually, what doing this does is create something perfectly fine here. What's wrong? Nothing. Great. Yeah, so I don't know if, like, we can make any assumptions about that. I guess it might fare better if we move it up here, upper left corner, because at least there's no dead-end palisades in one of these 2 spots. Is there any? And we certainly can't go to this palisade. So this time we have a T-piece. But I don't think we know which T-piece. No, this T-piece is definitely wrong because we're gonna have an issue with this cell right here. In fact, this one's actually easier to discern. We can start here, have this come up. And then this has to bend over. Great. Whatever this is has to come out and probably reach this piece. Don't know exactly how yet. Right? Because you got the P piece, and you got this piece, and you got this piece, all valid. Hate them all. I mean, I guess this piece is wrong. Same with this piece being wrong. Pretty much on virtue of the bottom left corner. Like, I think just somehow there's going to be a little issue caused in here. Even if we do this, this is going to overload. Yeah, I don't think that shape is right. But however, this shape allows us to squeeze in something like this. And then can kind of keep squeezing in a bunch of pieces like that. That looks great, actually. But then what about this here? I guess this is a valid option, right? Because then it could allow something like this, for example. I think this is actually the only valid option, right? This is certainly wrong. And it can't reach this piece. If it reaches this piece, it's going to upset this palisade. Yeah, I believe this is the only valid option. So we can allow something in here, and then these to connect. And I think we're getting somewhere, right? This has to connect here. Then this piece pretty much has to merge here. So we're probably drawing a little P-piece. And it's so close I can smell it. I can't smell. But surely that's a good sign, right? Whatever's here is not going to be able to reach that. So it's going to reach here. And we could make a plus or not this, unless this fills in. But we can fill in that much. Well, this spot's actually pretty tricky. I feel like I have to solve a lot of things at once again. I can look at this cell, see where it wants to go. This is one option. This is another option. Do we really see a world, though, in which this is horizontal? Does that make sense? This would have to be horizontal. And this would have to go like this, covering the corner. This would go over, this would go over. Who's covering this spot, if so? Right now, nobody. So I don't know, I think green is actually going to be a vertical instead. I guess make it purple. Purple vertical. Make this vertical. Have this come out. And then we could fill in this just fine. And okay, this needs a place to expand. Bring this over. Bring this in. Don't know exactly how this is going to grow, but this piece here, it needs a home. My thought is over to here. We are going to come across a slight problem. There's just not enough space. Well, so who can even get this piece then? Oh, well, no, it can be grabbed by that piece. Okay, there we go. That should probably solve the rest of it pretty easily. Yep, there we go, there we go, there we go. Level 7. Level 7! Another red explosion. The solitude has been complete. And if you've been keeping track, that means we have 10, which unlocks the bonus world of red puzzles. Oh my god, is everything here a 5, 6, or 7? Wait, are there even 5s? Okay, there's like 1 5. Oh boy. Tune in next time to have me tackling the world of champions. Thank y'all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next video. Have a wonderful day and peace.